Hey you! You're watching a clip from the DynamiteGizmo Podcast. This is not the full episode, but if you want to see the full episode, make sure to click the link in the description. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. Do it now! Here's the clip. Let's just dive right into this, shall we? I noticed something the other day while scrolling on the old X platform. A couple guys apparently gonna go face-to-face, head-to-head. And if this matchup gets confirmed, and all signs say it will, we might be looking at the most stylistically electrifying fight of the summer. Carlos Prates versus MVP. A banger in the making. Look at these gentlemen. Huh? This guy here, Octagon Pulse, apparently says breaking news. Carlos Prates versus Michael Venom Page is officially signed for UFC 320. Now, I don't know who this guy is, and I don't know if he can be trusted. But what I do know is in the last episode, I did mention this. I said, wouldn't it be great if MVP went up against Carlos Prates, and rightfully so, this would be great for both of them. Don't you think? You better, because I just twisted my ankle, and it feels not nice. I pressed my ankle against the chair, and now it is throbbing in pain. Now, this post claims that Prates and MVP is officially signed, as I just said. But as it sits right now, there is no official confirmation. There is nothing. If you go on the UFC website, you're not going to see a damn thing. And I don't know who this guy is. Can we trust him? But what I do know is that I can guarantee, no, I can't. But what I can say is, I could see this happening. It's very likely to happen. Why wouldn't it? If we take a look back at just a year ago, both of these motherfuckers debuted in 2024. Prates back in January at UFC 297 and MVP in March at 299. And in just a few short months, they've each made a serious dent in the welterweight division. MVP having 19 dominant wins and only 2 losses in Bellator, he was a shoo-in for the UFC, and the MMA community knew it, dude. Everybody knew it. Remember the excitement and the enthusiasm everyone had for MVP to fight Kevin Holland in his debut? I remember it because I was there. I wasn't there at the event, but I was in the world and paying attention to it. I said, oh boy, look who it is. Mr. Venom Page himself coming to squiggle around the octagon with his karate. It was great, dude. It was almost to the same extent of excitement we're seeing for Patchy Mix, who's making his debut next weekend on 316. We always like it when a good guy from another division comes over to UFC. It's exciting, right? And then, of course, we have Carlos Prates, one of the 4 fucking fighting nerds, icon, all of them. He also debuted in 2024. And when he did, he proceeded to knock out Gilles, Radke, Jing Liang, and Magny all within 7 months. All in 2024. Boom, bop, bang, bap, bow. All knockouts. Knocked them all out. All right? And not only that, but he got a Performance of the Night bonus for each one of them. Every single one of them. Back to back to back to back. Knockout to knockout to knockout to knockout. Performance of the night. Performance of the night. Blah, 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 blah. All the way. Look at all the money this guy's got. And prior to joining the UFC, I don't know if you knew this, but prior to Prates joining the UFC, he was on a 9-fight win streak. And he even won the SFT vacant welterweight championship over the one and only Charles Oliveira. Huh? Not that Charles Oliveira. This one, though. There's a different one. This guy right here. Okay? It's not the Charles Oliveira you're thinking of. This is One Punch Charles Oliveira. Okay? It's a different guy. There's actually many Charles Oliveiras, believe it or not. And Carlos Prates happened to win a belt over one of them, but not the best one. Okay? So when it comes to both of these motherfuckers, both of these somewhat new forces in the UFC, I say somewhat new forces because they're not completely new, but they're somewhat. They are both damn near undefeated, at least when it comes to the UFC. Damn near. Damn near. And more importantly, both with only one loss on their UFC record. And who is that loss from? Who is that loss from? Well, the one and only Ian Machado Garry. Both of them have only one loss, and that one loss is Ian Machado Garry. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Although they haven't had many fights in their UFC career yet, and surely there are plenty more to come, as it sits right now, Ian is the only man that stood in their way. He's the only motherfucker. Okay? We know the welterweight is as stacked as it's ever been right now. It's unbelievable. And there's a scramble at the top for the next contender. Scrambled eggs, dude. I love me some scrambled eggs. I had some the other day. I made them. Gordon Ramsay style. And they were delicious. So I'd say it makes perfect sense to match these two up right now. Why wouldn't it? To see who out of the two who couldn't get past Garry get pushed upward first. I'm getting messages left, right, and center on my watch. I mean, surely they're both going to rise to the top 10 eventually. They have to. All right? And when they do, welterweight is going to be even more undeniably not only the best it's ever been, but maybe the most stacked division we've ever seen ever, no matter what. Could you imagine getting Carlos and MVP up there in the top 10 as well? All right? Right now, they're ranked 13 and 15. So sure, it won't shake up the top of the division immediately, but it's not about the rankings. It's about the momentum. This fight tells us who's built to climb higher and faster. This is a test for both gentlemen, and I think it's a great test. You both lost to Ian. Why not match each other up? Who comes out on top? Huh? MVP took a loss to Ian Garry, then immediately turned it around, and he gave Sharamedov his first loss on his record. Okay? After Shara just had one of the greatest highlight knockouts of the year with that double spinning back fist. Remember that shit? And if you haven't seen that, go watch it. I ain't going to show it to you. You're perfectly capable of going to watch it yourself. Now go watch it. Okay? And then Carlos Prates, he is coming off directly his first loss in the UFC, and it was from Ian Garry. Okay? So Prates needs to prove that he can maintain his position in the division and keep his reputation with the fighting nerds strong and thriving, dude. So who better to prove that than against a man who lost to Ian Garry prior to him? Okay? It'll be an interesting matchup, that's for sure. And I imagine both guys are going to stay on their feet. Why wouldn't they? Okay? You've got MVP's unorthodox fucking karate. And then you've got Carlos's Muay Thai. Punch, punch, kick, kick. That'll be a fucking great fight, dude. Fantastic. I don't care where they put him. Put him at a co-main event, on a main number event, or put him as a main event on a fight night. Either way, bangarang, dude. And just like always, I mean, there's only really been 3 times so far in the UFC, but it seems like whenever MVP is fighting, it's always hard for me to make a prediction. Because why? Because he's always up against some guy that I like, and I like MVP. So it's like I want MVP to win, but I also want Carlos to win. I want them both to win. Who do I want more? I don't know. Don't speak to me that way. I'm not your uncle. We've got 2 elite strikers here, dude, both trying to bounce back from the same loss. and both trying to punch their ticket into the top 10. So I don't know, dude. I think I'm going to ride with Prates again, like I did with Ian Garry. The fighting nerds need to stand up. But if we're being honest here, MVP is a dangerous one-slip motherfucker. He gets you, it's lights out as well. What if they knock each other out? That would be amazing. MVP punches, Carlos Prates punches. Kabloop. Gone. Lights out for both of them. What do you do then? Is that a no contest? Or do you go to the highlight reel and see who got knocked out first? I don't know. Has that ever happened? I don't know. Why are you asking me for? I'm not an expert. Stop asking me questions. I'm not an expert. All I'm saying is this is the most recent rumored fight. I think it's amazing, and I kind of predicted it was going to happen. That's how good I am. I'm that good. Nobody can beat me.
I don't think that's actually Ian's son. And I don't like Eminem.
Tap here to watch the full episode of the DynamiteGizmo Podcast.